Sound, transition, and hello everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
Doing all right. How are you tonight?
Doing alright. I don't have anything fun or exciting to share. Do you have anything fun or exciting to share?
No,
So I will just take this
finding
moment.
day.
I'll just take this moment to remind everyone that they need to like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, the rest of the video is locked out to you. Unless you're watching this live, and then you're probably not going to see this part. So don't skip ahead if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed. I will know, and I will frown upon you. Let's see. If you're interested in other content on this channel, that is Sudokus on Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to see more gaming content, that is usually on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, although I'm also going to stream tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, some more Monster Hunter World. And then I will also be playing Final Fantasy VI. I will eventually be more on top of playing that one. Yeah, something went wrong. Why is something being goofy over here on browser? Well, I've got the chat in OBS and I've got it on my phone, but for some reason Google is being weird about it. If I open this in Firefox, do I get chat? YouTube. Actually, I should just go straight to subscriptions. Got a chat there, although it is not the, uh-oh. I'm just hearing myself. Mute. There we go. Fix that problem. Phone's not on now. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. It seems like people should be able to chat if they want. So, yeah, alright. Then get that one more reload, and I don't know. Whatever. Put that over there, and we're gonna start some Sudokus. So, first puzzle. If I have this, nope, wrong one. Elasticity. Firefox. Elasticity. There we go. First try. Alright. So this was a puzzle we started last week, but need to...
Oh, last night.
That is correct. Last week being yesterday. One of these days I will figure out the correct way of referring to previous times that is not using the wrong words. Whatever. But yeah, so we started this one yesterday. Didn't get very far, so we're going to try again. Hopefully we're a little bit more awake at the start, so that'll help. So I'm just going to go ahead and restart the time completely, and I forgot to read the rules. So this puzzle is called Elasticity by Sudoku. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in a cage do not repeat, and sum to the clue in the top left. But yeah, alright, let's begin. So, the first thing that's pretty important that Mum spotted last time is if we look in the ring around the grid, we are limited as to where we can put the digits 1 and 2. So if we look inside of these 12s, the minimum digit is 3. And if we look inside of the box 3, we've got a 14 and a 10, which is 24 together.
21, and 21 and 3, the minimum is 4.
Right. And the remainder is 21, with a minimum of 4. Which I am parroting. I don't know why. But I was looking at the sum here. The minimum in this group is 21. We know it's 24, so... I mean, obviously we know that 1, 2, and 3 are in this group. I guess it doesn't really matter because we know the outside is 21. Okay. So we can't put 1, 2, or 3 in the corners. And if we look at the column here, the same thing is going on. 12. Can't have 1 or 2 in it. So I'm just going to mark these. If we look at the first column, 13 is even more restrictive than 12. It can't have a 3 in it. So we've got those. And if we look in box 7, we've got a 16 and a 9. 16 and 9 are 25, so the remainder outside is 20, which is minimum 3. So our 1 and 2 is removed. And if we look at the bottom here, same thing, red and blue in those positions. Now, the fact that 3 is restricted from the 13 feels important, but it's not restricted in the 12s, but it is restricted from box 3. So the 3 has to be inside of the 10 or the 14. $15 is only one possibility when it's done in 5 cells, and then that's 1 through 5. So we know that 1 and 2 must be inside of there somewhere. And now this cell sees the entirety of that 15, so it's 6, 7, 8, or 9. So then what? I guess we could look in this box and see that 1 and 2 is restricted because it can't go in the 14, which is minimum 5. But we can have red and blue in there, red and blue in here. $20 has to have 1 or both of red and blue. And this digit is not in the 20. But we can skip 1. We can skip 2. We can skip 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So there's no digit that's required to be in the 20. $36 isn't that restricted either. But whatever's in the 36 cannot be there. Because that sees... Actually, both of those see the entirety of the 36. So whatever this is, it has to be one of those two. $11 can have 2 in it, so that's not helpful. Could there be something set related with this one? If so, I'm not sure where to look for it. Yeah, I don't know.
Box 1, 13 and 12 is 25, so the other 5 sum to 20. And those blue is 5 less than red, sum-wise.
And we can look down here, and if we do this group and that group, take out the groups that are the same. 12 and 13 is 25, and 20 is 45, so we know that green and purple are the same.
Are the same sum.
Yeah.
But they cannot be the same
digits. Well, I guess shouldn't be reusing purple. If we look at box 5, if we subtract out the 36, the remaining 4 are 9 more than what's outside.
Right.
And since we know that 9, that this digit ends up being one of those two, let's say it's that one, then the remaining 3 are just simply 9.
Right.
Oh, Henry Purser says, "Hi, first time catching a stream. You were randomly recommended on my homepage. Really enjoying it. Do you like help from viewers, or do you prefer working it out on your own?" I do like some help sometimes. So if you see something that we're not seeing, I would like the assistance. Especially on a puzzle like this one, where this is our second attempt at it. We spent like 25 minutes yesterday, and we got no farther than what we have already.
Well, in box 5, the max that can be in one of those blue, or one of the, outlined in, not those two, but the 3 that are not black that's on the outside.
Hmm.
The max is 6.
Well, aren't they 9?
Well, the 3 are gonna sum to 9.
Yeah.
And the other one is going to be whatever that black one is on the outside. And since 9 and 3, the max you can have is 6.
Oh, right. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I wasn't explaining very well, sorry. 1, 2, 6, 1, 3, 5. 1, 2, 4. Or 2, 3, 4.
No, this one's 1 through 6, just like the 3 that are not this digit in here. But that doesn't really help us with the 16. The 10 is 1 through 7, but it doesn't feel like that helps us with the 14.
Doesn't. I have a feeling we're missing something really obvious.
I mean, probably. I mean, we could look at these 2 columns, and if we consider like what's sticking, or the cages inside of them, 2 full columns is 90. If I remove 20. That leaves 70. Remove 10, I'm at 60. Remove 14 would be
46.
And remove 13, 33.
Mm-hmm.
So red is 33 more than blue. And for 33 more than blue, which is a minimum of 2, that means red is a minimum of 35. But maximum, 7 and 9 is 16. Add that to 33. And we're at 49. 49, excuse me. So that doesn't feel restrictive enough.
No.
I could grab the entire grid except for this middle. If I do that, you know what? I'm going to add source for window capture calculator. Sub window calculator. Okay. 45 times 8 is 360. If we subtract out everything we can, so I've got 4 12s, and 4 13s, I have 2 14s, and a 10, a 15, an 11, 16, 9, and 20. 10, 15, 11, 16, 9, and 20. That is 151. I could add the middle and then take out 36. And that gets us at 160 for everything that isn't in a cage. Total not in cage. 160. Okay, so if I just go row by row and I look at minimum, I guess. So that would be let's just go with a naive minimum and ignore the fact that this win we know is minimum 6. So row by row, that's 10 plus 6 plus 3 plus that's 6 in row 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 would be 21 plus another 10 plus another 10 plus 6 plus 6 plus 10. So that would just be if we did 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 10. 1, 2, 3 is 6. 1 and 2 is 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 makes 21. 4 is again 10. 4 more 10. 3 is 6. 3 is 6. And 4 is 10. Which gives us 82. I'm not going to get anything different if I look at it by column. Although I have a 5 here. Actually, what would I get if I went by column? 10 plus 6 plus 3 plus 15 plus 4 is 10 plus 4 is 10 and 10 and 6 and 10. That would be 80. So we know we have to go with the largest minimum that we have. If I went by box number, that might be more interesting. 3 plus 10 plus... Well, actually, in some of them, we know exactly how many there are. It's like in box 3, I could say that that's 21 plus 10 plus 10 plus 21 plus 3 plus 15 plus 20. That brought us to 113. Maximum's going to be worse because this doesn't feel like the right direction to go.
Okay, I went a totally different way.
Yeah.
I was looking at box 2. 12 and 14 is 26. Means the other 5 sum to 19. 19 and 5 is either 1 through 4 and 9. We're going to skip that one for now. If we use 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. The 12 has to be, no, the 12 does not work. Because the 3 ways of making 12 are 3, 9, 4, 8, and 5, 7. Well, we're using half of each of one of those. So there has to be an 8 in either the 12 or the 14.
And 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, you said?
Right. So you're using half of each. So that one breaks. So 8 has to be either in the 12 or the 14.
Okay. So
Uh,
19 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 9.
there are various other ways of making it beside it to go
7.
yeah, 6 and 7,
1, 2, 4.
5, 7.
Well, that would 1, 2, 5. I would need 11 with 2 digits
Mhm.
larger than 5. That's all of the ways to make 19 then.
Yeah. Now,
Henry Purser says, I think the 12 cages in row 1 and column 9 are important. I feel like you should be able to massively narrow down the Audis in box 3. We can take a look at that in a little bit. Do any of these other ones break the 12 or the 14?
well, because 8 can go with 6,
Yeah.
and then 3 would go with 9 for the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. Um, 4 and 8 for 12, and 5 and 9 for 14 for the 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. 6 and 8 for 14, and 5 and 7 for 12 for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. No, 5, 7, and 6, 8, or 4, 8. Yeah, 6, 8 for the. That's 4, 8 for the 12, where you are now, and the 14 is 5,
Mhm.
9.
And then 3, 9, and 6, 8.
6, 8. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if we look at rows 1 and column 9, row 1 and column 9, if we specifically look at what's going on in box 3, so row 1 and column 9, we have 4 12s. It's 3, 9, 4, 8, or 5, 7. So we know everything. We know that 1s and 2s have to be in these places. Because they can't go in the 12, and they can't go in the 21 that is outside of the 10 and the 14. Wait a second.
Okay, if you do not put 1 and 2, 1 or 2 in the 10 cage, then 3, 7, or 3, 4 is the least. 5, 8 would be a 2. That would work. Never mind.
489, 579, and 678. I think are the three ways that Henry mentioned for the ways to make 21.
Right.
But also, if I just consider the fact that these two columns have to be, they're 90. Except this corner is going to be double counted. If I take out these three, which is 21, then that turns back to pink. Then row 1 in column 9 is 90 double count row 1 column 9. So 90 minus 21 minus 4 12s, which becomes 48, leaves us with 21.
Yeah.
And that 21 I could do 21 minus 10, and then those two get removed. And then I'm going to swap pink for red. And then it's 11. So red is 11 more than blue. And red is minimum and if we put a 1 in the corner, or no, since we would double count it, well, no, if I do 2 6s, that's 12, plus the 1 that's double counted, so I subtract out 1. Red is minimum 11. If I did a 1 in the corner and 2 3 2 3. Now, I guess the thing that I should probably be more careful about is the fact that this is minimum 3. 4, right, thank you. So red isn't minimum 11. It's minimum 6 plus 4 is 10. Well, that turned out differently. Apparently I don't know how to count. But that's because I should have done the 3 there anyway, because I'm only singly counting it, and that would be 1 and 2 is 3, 1 and 2 is 3 for 6, and 3 more, that's 9. Okay. Now, I do know... Henry says, wait. What did you see, Henry? We could probably do the same thing. 3 ways to make 12.
Right. 3 9 4 8 and 5 7.
And the 3 ways to make the 21. If we align those. So we know we have to use at least 2. Only one of the ways to make 21 has a number that isn't in any of the ways to make 12.
6, 7, 8. Right, because no matter what you put in the corner, if
Uh-huh.
if it's used to make 12, or what's used to make 21,
Yeah.
say 4, 8, and 9. Well, the 4, if you put 4, 8 one direction, then the other direction,
Yeah.
um, say the 4's in the corner. 4, 8, that's fine in the horizontal, but in the vertical, you've got 4, 9, so you can't make the 12.
Okay.
And if it's reversed, then no matter what, because 2 of those are used in the 12.
So the 6 has to be in the box 3 outies, right? Which means it has to be 6, 7, 8. I believe that is the correct conclusion. Because if
Yes.
I did 4, as I'm started, 4, 8, and 9, that would be, say, 5, 7, and 3, 9. But then how do I make these ones work? I can't do 5, 7, and 3, 9, nor can I do 4, 8. So then this one would be broken. And it doesn't matter how I rotate that. So 6, 7, 8. Does that also mean that the 6 has to be in this top corner?
Yes.
Because if I put the 6 here, then those are a 7, 8 pair.
And you
3,
can't
9.
do
But I could do 5,
5,
7, or
7,
4,
or
8.
4, 8.
Okay.
Thank you, Henry.
Um, hmm. Yeah. Then I don't think we need to care about this. I think we need to care
Oh,
about the
well, 9
similar
in box 3,
effect.
the 9 has to go in the 14.
Oh yeah, it does.
But 5 is gonna have to go in the 10, which is gonna be either 1, 4, 5, or
Oh,
2,
the
3,
7
5. Anyway,
got taken out.
anyway, yeah.
One,
But there
2, 3, 4,
are
5.
more ways to do 20 for box 7.
Yeah. But box
3, 8,
7, we've got 13s, which
right, it's
are
13s.
4, 9, 5, 8, and 6, 7.
Right.
And it's 20 in 3, so 3, 8, 9, 4, 7, 9, and 5, 6, 9. And then if I make the largest digit an 8, that requires 12, which would be 5, 7, 8. And I couldn't do 13 with 7 because 6, 7. Okay.
Well, 3, 8, 9 has 2 that are required for.
So I could do 6, 7. Well, I could just put the 3 in the corner.
Right.
Does 4, 7, 9 work?
Well, okay, because
If I put the 4 here, that's 4 and 9 out.
But one direction is going to have 4, 7, and the other's 4, 9. 4, 7. That's the same issue with the 12 and the 21.
Yeah. So I couldn't put 4 in the corner.
So
if I did, hold on. So 4 is not allowed here. A 7 would take out 6, 7, but then the 9's going to break stuff. And if I put a 9 here, that's 4, 9. The 4 would be fine, but the 7's going to break stuff.
Right.
Okay, so that eliminated one possibility, the 4, 7, 9. 5, 6, 9?
Well, 5 and 6 and 9 all occur. So 2 of them are going to be taken out. It's like the 12 and the 21.
Okay, yeah. So that forces the 3 here and an 8, 9 pair.
Yeah.
If I'm understanding that correctly. So 16, not 8, not 9. So it has to have 7. Oops. Has a 7, but not the 3. So that's 4, 5, 7. 4 and 5 is out. That's 1, 2, 6. Okay. Now, these 13s.
Right. If you put 6 in the column, in the 9, then you can't make 3, because roll out the, right, 6, 7 would come out. And
then I would have to use
either
8,
the
9.
8 or the 9 is going to come out. So 6 has to be in the center.
So 6 isn't in the center there. And since it's not in the 12, it has to be... Well, it has to be here. Because this 6 takes it out of the top, this one takes it out of there, and it could never have been in the 15 to begin with. 6, 7 takes that out. This 12, 3, 4, 5, and 7 is now not a possibility. 8, 9 combines with that 8, 9. So 8, 9 isn't allowed, 6 and 7 isn't allowed, and 3 isn't allowed. Interesting. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 and 7 isn't allowed. That 8, 9 combines with that 8, 9. 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 3. So 1, 2, 4, and 5 being the remainder in there. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if that's helpful yet. Copy, paste.
But in column 9, the 12s, one of those is going to have to be 3, 9.
Yes.
So the 3 comes out in the 10 cage. And the same with with row 1. Yeah.
It can still be in the center, though. 6 and 7 aren't allowed, so 5's required.
But, okay, we know 5 is required.
Yeah.
If 5 is on... Well, no, because if it's 5, 7, then that's 3, 9, and 4, 8. So that would be fine. It doesn't neatly place the 5 in the center like it did for
the 6 down
the
here.
6. Yeah.
So now we have to have 3, 9. 3, 6, and 9 are removed. Okay, what about in this box? How the 12 and the 13 interact? Or even just this corner back here, because I have to have 6, 7, so the 7 is removed. And then from here, I have to use one of 4, 5.
8.
Right. And okay. But I can't put 7 or 8 here or here because I have to use 7, 8, and 9 going across the 12s and this one over here.
Right.
Okay. So this must be 1, 2, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Red, blue. Can we bring this 20 in? Or maybe this 14. 5, 6, 8, 9. A 6, 8 would make that a 7 and that a 7. So this isn't 6, 8. It's 5, 9. So 5 and 7 and 3 and 9 is out. That's 4, 8. That's not 4, 8, but we remove our 4s from this row and place our 7, 8 here. 8 and 4, 8 and 4. So 3, 5, 7, 9. We take out 5s. 7 and 6 is removed.
Okay. My turn. Box 4. The 11 cage. It's going to see both 8 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
Basically. So it can't be, so it's going to have to either be 4, 7 or 5, 6. Well, if it's 4, 7, it breaks the 16 cage below it. So that has to be 5, 6.
So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 3, 8 would make those two both 9. And you said it has to see 9?
Well, okay, the 8, 9 pair in box 7 affects
Yeah.
the 8, 9 for the 13.
Right. So whatever this one is this one.
Right.
So like if I made this one orange, you'd see orange over there.
Right. Oh. 8. Oh, no, I guess it doesn't see both of them. Darn.
So we know it can't be 3, 8.
It can't be 4, 7 because it breaks the 16 cage below it.
Right. 5 and 6 would make that 4 and 9. And 2 and 9 would make this 5, 8. So we know 5 has to be one of those. So 5's out of there. Take the red and blue out of those. If this is 5, 6, we get a 5 here, 5 there. Oh, this can't be a 5. And so now, because a 5 and a 5 line up, 5 and 6 is removed.
Right. Okay. That makes the 13, 5, 8.
Yeah. 9 and 4, 5 and 8. Takes 5 out.
1, 2 in the
places
column.
4. Then the 2, 9 is going to do 8, 9, 3, 9, and an 8. You said 1 and 2 in the column?
Column 1, but you already did. In box 1, the cage, the 15 cage has to have 4 and 5 in box 1.
Two, 9 is going to take 2 out of these. What's left over in this box? 4, 5, 8, 9, and 2. These 2 aren't 6, and this isn't a 3, and 1, 3, 7 forces that to be 6. That should have been a little bit more obvious, because none of those can be 6.
The 7 in column 3 has to be in box 7.
Right. 1, 3, 7 places 2 and 1.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
The 1, 3, 7 takes out the 1 from that column.
The 2 has to be in the 14 now, so that is 2, 3, and 9. And 1, 4, and 5. 1, 4, 5 triple here. 5, 2, 8.
Can't have 9 in that. So
3,
the 9
6,
in
7.
growth 2.
Oh, 5, 9 takes 5 out. 4, 1, 5. Out of 5, 1, 4 places of 5, places of 1, 3, 6, and 7 to line up with those. Except the 2, 3 takes the 3 out. 4 places 5. This isn't a 2, that isn't a 2. 9 pairs of 4, 5 pairs of 7. 1, 4 pair makes a 2. A 9 and a 2.
The 15 cages can be done. Row 9, the 5.
Oh yeah, this is the only place it can go. Because 5, 8 is removed from the 13s. And that can't be a 5 because it had to be 5, 7 in one of the 12s. Well, 3, 9, 5, 7 because the 8 took out 4, 8 possibility.
36 cage has to have a 9 in it, doesn't it? 7, 8,
Has to have 9,
7,
8,
8,
7.
and 9.
So 9's out of all of those. That's 9. Nine's gonna be one of those two. One of these. 3. Can this 20 have 9 in it? Not there, not there, not in this box. And not here. Oh. Well, that only removes one possibility. I do agree with you, Henry, that this is a bloody hard puzzle. Do you have something to say, Mama?
I was looking where 5 went in box 5. It's not helpful.
Yeah. Alright, well... Okay. What can we put in...
Oh, right, because if the outside of the 36 in box 5,
Mm-hmm.
one of them is that cell, and the other 3 sum to 9.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 6, 2, 5. Well, this one has to be a 5 then, doesn't it? Because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it cannot be the purple digit.
Right, and 7, 8, 9 have to occur in the 36.
And
5 goes with 1 and 3.
yeah. So this is 1 and purple. So that has to be a 3. So 3 and 5. 5 paired with 7. And 3 paired with 9. So this is a 9. Yes. 9 is out, 9 is there, 9 is there. That's 4, 7, 6, 1, 3. Take that out. 8 and 4. 4 and 1. So this cannot have a 5 in it, nor can it have a 3. But that means it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, we already know the 9's in there. 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 2, 4. So these are 1, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8 is there, so apparently that's just a 1.
Well, and there's a 6, 7 pair in the cage in box 5.
There we go. 6, 7 in the column, so 7 and 6 because of the 6 here. 6 is out of both of those. 6 and 7. 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, and 6. 3, 1, 6, 1, 2, 3, 2, 6, 1, 7, 6. If I can press the right button. 1, 2, 3.
2, 4, 5, and 8.
5, 8. And this must be 6.
14. So the row needs a 3.
3, 2, 4.
1 and 4.
4. There we go.
Wow.
I definitely couldn't figure out what the row and columns were pointing at here. It was
definitely needed. Thank you for the help on that.
Yeah, that was really, really helpful. I'm trying to think of like other things to say, because I think once you see that opening or the break-in, it wasn't super difficult after that. I don't think. I mean, it was still a really hard puzzle. But I think the hardest part of it was the break-in, which Henry spotted at what, like 20, 30 minutes into today. So I don't know. Let me grab that. Oh, I copied something already. The link from Logic Masters Germany. I wanted to reset the Zoom, please. Thank you. There it is. Copy, paste, enter, and row 5. Submit.
Wow, others were saying it's average.
Yeah. Definitely a very nice puzzle. I don't agree with everyone else that it's average.
They just spotted the break-in earlier.
Yeah. Which I think is definitely well telegraphed. So I think I just didn't think about it the right way. The direction to look is at least well telegraphed. I'm gonna stick with hard as to the rating on this puzzle. I think it just took a long time to see the break-in, but once pointed out, like, it was fairly straightforward to work through. It did take 25 minutes just staring at it to even think of the row 9, column 9 break-in, yeah. Yeah, definitely one to stare at and be like, what is this puzzle trying to tell me? Alright, we should have time for at least one more, so let's go ahead and tackle one more puzzle. Hopefully 2 more. So our next puzzle is going to be Tic-Tac-Todd. Alright, probably should have done that after reading all the rules. Alright, let's try this again. Tic-Tac-Todd by Jose Bastian, 8, maybe? Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits do not repeat on the marked diagonal. A clue outside the grid gives the sum of the digits along the indicated diagonal. And along a red line, digits have the same parity. Okay.
Oh, box 1, or the X's, that's easy. Those are all odds.
I believe I spelled that correctly. And there is the link in the chat if you'd like to give this a go yourself. But yes, these X's must be odd. Well, we already know that these are the same parity. It's 2 a.m. here in England, so I've got to get to bed. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll try to catch your next stream. Had a lot of fun with this last one. Thanks for stopping by, Henry. Have a good night. We know that those are all even.
The O's are not both even.
Mm-hmm. These are 2-4 pair and a 2. And these have to be 6-8. We know this because of the 14 along this diagonal.
Right.
The areas outside of the X's have to be even. And since 14 is also even, this extra bit has to be even. And the minimum of 2 even digits is 2 and 4 for 6. If you have that twice, that's 12. Add 2 more, that gets you to 14, and 2 is the minimum. So, since that's the minimum possibility, that's what it has to be. Now, this 13 doesn't mean that they're all odd, even though 3 odds is odd. Although, can you make 13 with... I mean, yeah, 1, 3, and 9. What am I thinking? Or 1 and 5, 7. So that's not helpful yet. 20. We know that those are odd, so these must eventually become odd. That could be 1 odd and 2 evens. This 11 indicates that these are an odd-even pair, so whatever parity this one is the opposite.
And the 38 little killer, the box 6's odds, so that would either 1 odd or 3 odd.
Say again? You were talking about this diagonal?
Yeah, since those 3 are odd.
Then these 3 have to be odd as well. Okay, yeah.
Oh, either 1 or 3.
Yeah. Collectively, they have to be odd.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about these 2 circles.
Yeah. One's even, the other's odd.
They could
Well, I guess
both
they
be
could
odd.
both be odd.
So maybe it's more important to think along the diagonal, since we don't have any duplicates. We know they can't all be even. Actually, can the one in the middle be even? It would immediately make this one odd. And it would make both of these odd as well. In fact, if any of these 3 are even, the other 2 are odd. So, could this one be even? If it was, that would be odd, and so would that one. And if this was odd, then there are 2 evens guaranteed. If another one is odd, that's 2 evens guaranteed. So then the other must be even to give me the rest of the odds. And if one is even, the other 2 must be odd anyway. So that I have to have 1 even and 2 odds. What does that mean for this top one? Well, I have to have at least 1 odd in this diagonal. And I have to have at least 1 odd in this diagonal. But that's not enough to tell me. Because 4 evens would force them all to be odd. And 4 odds would make the middle digit odd. But what about this one? Not necessarily. I don't know where that odd's going to have to go. These are collectively odd. Okay, if this is odd, what does that do to this one? Can I make this one odd if that one's odd? And I can. And if I make it even, I can do that too. So that's not enough information. If I make this even, then if I make this even, then I would know that this one is odd, and this one is odd, and that this one would be even. But if I made this odd, I can put an even there, make that odd, and put an even there. So that only tells me enough information if this is even. Okay, so the only thing I know right now is that these two are different.
All right. The 31 or the 38 rather. Has to be collectively odd.
What's the minimum along these three?
One, 3, and 5.
And 1, 3, and 5 is 9.
9.
So these three are minimum 11. And the maximum 5, 7, and 9 is 21. So that's not, yeah. But we do know that this is minimum 7. So this is 11 or 13. Excuse me, 9 to 13. Which I could do 1, 3, 9, so that doesn't even eliminate any options. We know that that has to be collectively odd. We know this has to be collectively odd. We know that those two are collectively odd. We know that those three are collectively odd. Three, 9, 5, 7, or 4, 8, which is all of the possibilities. If they're 4, 8, the others are 2, 6, which you wouldn't get a 2 here, so that couldn't be a 6. Well, if this is a 2, that's a 4, which makes this not a 4, and this not an 8. What does that do to these? Although this is only if these are even.
Right.
And a minimum of 6 means these are a minimum of 5. Or excuse me, a maximum of 5. An 8 and 2 is 10, so I couldn't even use an 8. 2 and 6 is 8. And 1, 3 pair. Excuse me, 1, 2 pair would make 10. Or excuse me, 11. We already know that this is 1 through 4. There's lots of ways to make 13.
Yeah, but the 13, if it's if the O is evens, then it can only be 1, 5, and 7.
If these are even, we know that those two are odd. If these are odd, then we know that those two are even, because the last odd has to be on the diagonal. So whatever this is, it's not what these are. And that is true of this one as well. But then these two don't have to be the same. This is the same as one of those two. Let's say those are the same parity. They either complete the row, or no, they can't complete the row. Well, they complete the row with odds, if they're both odd. No, because that would be even. And if they're both even, then I still need another even. Well, whatever these are, we know the four corners have to be different. It's just we don't know whether the center Wait, do we know that? We know the center diagonal, or the negative diagonal in box 7. We know that that has to be collectively odd. So the rest of the box is collectively even. And since this is odd, if this circle is odd, the odd has to be in the middle. And so my evens would be all the way around. And if this is purple, if the circle is odd, if it's even, then everything around is even, and then I need that to be odd. Does that make the middle digit odd regardless?
I think so.
Because if these are even, then everything's odd. If these are odd, then the diagonal needs to have one more odd on it. And since the diagonal has to be odd, that odd has to be here, because otherwise those would all be even. So yeah, that is odd. Okay. This diagonal must be collectively odd, therefore this black and these two are the same. Now that's still only true of each box individually. So I haven't been able to connect these two boxes, or those two boxes, or this one, and what it's all going to mean. What am I missing? These two could both be even. And then this would be odd, and that would be odd. These two cannot both be even, but they could both be odd. These two couldn't both be even, but they could both be odd. And all three of them could be odd, if this one's even. If these two are even, well, then those three would be odd. Except, hold on, we know that these two are even, and we know that those two are odd, and we know that those two are the same. This is all collectively even, so this group here is collectively odd. So it's three things that are odd, or it's two evens and an odd. Okay, well that just tells me that there's one even in there.
Well, if you look at row 5 the same way,
We don't know about this one, but either these are three odds, because those are two evens, or if they're two odds, then we don't know, because we don't know what the center is.
oh, right.
If this was odd, then these two would have to be even. Now, I can't make both of these even. So one of them, or both of them, is odd. But they could be odd. Oh, apparently... I can get rid of that sound. Sort of. Sarah's making milk cake. Oh, that was done. Alright, my voice might sound a little weird in the gaps, but get rid of the noise in the background. Okay, maybe that's done. Well, if these are even, then we know that this would be a 4 and that a 2, and this not an 8, this not a 6. Four would be one of those two, and therefore 4 one of these two. In which case, these, well, if those are even, then we know that those are odd. So that doesn't help. Oh. Okay. I don't know. Oh. I'm messing with stuff on this side is probably messing with other things. I still don't have chat in Chrome, which is weird. I would have to put 8 and 6 down here. And those 3 would be odd. It just feels like there's not enough information. So what am I... I mean, there has to be enough information. If I maximize this diagonal, those 3 are odds. 5, 7, and 9 is how much?
21.
21. So if these were 3 odds, a 3...
17.
17 in 3 odds.
1, 9,
I mean,
and
1,
7.
9, and 7. Or 3, 5, and 9.
Yeah. But that's only if box 6 is maximized.
Yeah. But it could also be two evens and an odd. This is saying 42 is the maximum. So it's got 4 degrees of freedom. This was 8, 9. 8 minus 4 is 4. That still maximizes these. Does that sound still okay? More or less? Did you see a lot? Okay. Okay. If these are even, then these are all odd. Okay. So if this is even, then we know we get this pattern. Well, whatever these two are, they're the same. So then this one's different. Let's say these are both odd. Just for funsies. Then those are evens. And then we would get even, odd. Well, I can only have one more odd, so that would force that one to be odd. And then we would get this to be even. So everything else is odd. And this would be odd, and the same as that. That's a contradiction. Which means that these would have to be the same evens. And I get the same... Well, I don't get the same problem, but we would know that this one would be odd. Now... Michael Lefkowitz says, "Oh, hello there. Finally caught you live. Thank you for showing up." And I don't like having said showing up. Thank you for stopping by. That one sounds more friendly. Thank you for showing up. Seems like I was like expecting you, and like you finally arrived. And I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the right friendly tone that I was aiming for. I didn't have to go far. Just click some things. Well, that's good. Yeah. We did a pretty tough puzzle earlier. It was, having immediately forgotten, elasticity. And now we're on Tic-Tac-Todd, and I've been staring at this one for 30-some minutes, mostly it being what we have in front of us. Trying to figure out which version of the parody on these circles we have. Because the red lines, they're all the same parody. I don't know that these are evens. But if they are evens, they have to be this way. And if they are evens, then they make these evens be this way and these evens be this way. Otherwise, I have no clue what's going on. I mean, otherwise they're odd, and these ones are odd, and they look different. I know this one's odd, and I know whatever this is, it's the opposite of the yellows. The current line of thinking is, if these are even, then all of this is odd. Are all the pinks in the grid the same parity? Right now, yes, they are. Earlier I'd had it shown where it was unique to their boxes. But if this is all even, then that would make 3 odds here. And then I couldn't make another even because I would have 3 odds here, and this diagonal is, cannot have repeats. So I only have 5 odds to play with, so I can only have 1 circle of odds. And, right, evens. And if I tried to do, and I know I have 1 circle of evens, because if I do 2 odds, then that guarantees 4 of my evens already. So even if it turns out that this yellow circle is actually odds, we still know that these 4 are unique from these 2 in their corners. And that's also true in this one, where whatever these 4 are, these 2 corners would end up being the same. Because we know that collectively this diagonal, or these 3, do we know that the purple in box 3 and the purple in box 5 mean the same? Box 3? In this case, yes. Couldn't one of those boxes have evens on the diamond and the other not? We don't know that 3 and 5 are the same. Right now I'm operating under the assumption that this one is even. But if this one is odd, then then they can't be the same. But we know that one of the 3 on the diagonals has to be even. But I have proven that if this is even, then those 3 are odd. Those 2 would have to be the same parity, because these 3 are collectively odd. And if that one's odd, then those 2 have to be collectively even, which means they're the same parity. And if they had been odd, then I get evens here and odd there. And if that was odd, then I can only have 1 more odd here, and that would make these even, which makes that odd, and if that one was odd, it would be not allowed. So, but I could still make this one odd, and then that one odd, and these ones even, and then that can be odd, and that one odd. I mean, everything would be odd. But that would be fine since those 2 are different. And if that one's odd, then both of those are even, which is yellow in this case, and those are odd. And it would look like that. But I don't know how to get there without just simply assuming that this one's odd. And I don't even know that the assumption that this is even useful. Just want to take out the colors. And actually, I just want to take out purple and yellow. So now if we go back to here, now these are just unique to their boxes. And actually I can do this, purple and those two. But again, they're unique to their boxes, so now purples and yellows they're not for the whole grid. The thing that I don't know is what the 20 and the 38 are telling us. Because right now, all that this 38 tells me is that along with the orange diagonal here, is that these three must be collectively odd. Which they could all be odd, which makes them collectively odd, or one of them's odd and two of them are even. Now I do know that I cannot put 1, 2, 3 on these, because if I max out everything else, 5, 7, and 9 is 21, plus 4 is 25, and I need a minimum of 13 to get to 38, and 13 is minimum of 4 and a 9. And the reason I know this is 1, 2, 3, 4 is because of the 2, 6 being minimum, and to get 11 here, those are maximum 5. If this top right one was even, then what would that mean down here? Those would have to all be odd. And if this was even, well, if that one's even, then this one couldn't be even. Hold on. If this is even, then we go back to this being odd, and then those have to be even because of stuff we proved earlier. But then over here, these would have to be odd. And that odd, this we don't know, so I'm going to take it out. Have we thought about how the diamond in box 2 influences boxes 3 and 5? Well, they could all be odd. is the thing. But if any of them are even, then the other two are odd. Because if I make this one, like if I make them all the same, and in this case they're all odd, then we know that those two are even. So boxes 3 and 5 are always odd. Not necessarily. No, because I could make box 5 even. So if let's get rid of yellow and pink for a second. If I made this one even, then I know immediately that everything else is odd. And because this is even, all of that's odd. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So then this one would be odd, and the rest of this would be even. And I would need one more even. All of this would be even. These numbers don't mean anything anymore because they're only for if this was even. Excuse me, this one is even. Those numbers don't mean anything either. Take them out anyway. But yeah, and I haven't been able to identify a reason as to why this one couldn't be even. Oh, this is broken, but we do have 6 odds in row 2. Oh. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 6 odds. Okay. So if that's even, then the rest of this is odd. Well, if this is odd, and that's odd, then those two are odd. So then that's 1, 2, 3, 4 odds. I can only have one more odd. And now I get evens. But now, if I look at the diagonal, I have 6 odds. So, it is very true that the center is odds and evens. So did I not think through the full consequences of this being evens and odds? So then I would have to have those 3 be odds. And then those 3 be odds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gosh darn it. Odds. Evens. This is evens, and these are our odds. 6, 2, 4, 8, 6, 4, 2, 8. Alright, thank you. The way I was seeing it was by starting with box 2. If box 2 is even, the others are odd. If box 2 is odd, the others are also odd. Hey, digits. Yep. I lose 8, I lose 4, and 4 and 6 is definitely removed. This is a 2 and an 8. forget why those had to be 2 and 8. Oh, because I couldn't put an 8 along this diagonal, and that 8 removes it from there. Because 2 and 8 is already 10, and then I can't put a pair of 1s and make 11. That would be 12. Well, 5, 7, and 9 is odd. And we know that these two...
Well, if you look at column 5, have 4 odds.
So these can't be odd. They're even. Four, 1, 3, odd, even, odd, odd. Guessing this one has to be odd because those two have to be even, and that has to be even. And those have to be odd. One, two, three. Two, 8. Odd. Even. 4, 6, 8. You don't have 8 across those, and these two have to be word. Never mind, that's a 2. 4, 6, 8. Where this isn't a 4, this one isn't a 6. 4, 6, 8. Again, 4 and 6.
Row 4 has a 6-8 pair.
8's removed. 4 and 2, not a 4. 4. Because 4 had to be one of those two.
7 has 4, 6, 8. Actually, column 7 has 4 evens.
1, 2, 3, 4. Go. 6, 8 pair. And 6, 8 pair makes 4. 2, 4. 2, 6, 8. That's not a 2, so this is. And 6 or 8. 4 and 6, and 8 and 2. 4, 6, 8 is out because it can't go in an odd square. 4 isn't allowed. 1, 4, 6. Alright, the rest is just math. 3, 5, 7, 9. Don't really know why I did that. I should probably be focusing on this 20. 3, 5, 7, 9. That's not a 1. Alright. 10 and I guess it's minimum 20, so that must be a 1. And then 7 and 9 are out. And a 6. And it's 20. That's 11, so 38 is maximum. So 1 and 3. And take out the 5. And now that says 38. "13" means 12. There's a couple of ways of doing that. Just know the 1 is here, but not there. So 1 is one of these two. So 1 is one of those 3. 1 is one of those two, so it's not here. 3-5 pair makes a 1. A 1, a 1. One.
Column 4 needs a 7-9.
Seven, 9 pair makes this 1, 3, and 5, but can't be a 1 because there's already 1 in the column.
The 1 in the diagonal can be placed.
Oh, right. That has to be 1 because there's no duplicates. And it can't go on these 4. 3, 5, 7, 9. 5, 7, 9. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, that's kind of fun. 3, 5, 7, 9. 3, 5, 7, 9. 5, 7, 9. Okay. Three has to be one of these two, so it's not one of those. So I already know one's one of those two. Okay. These sum to 12, and those sum to 12. So whatever this digit is, it's that one.
I get rid of the orange and green.
So where's blue in here? Well, we know it's odd. Down. Down. Is it there? Doesn't feel useful. Still true that it's these two, though. We're so close to the end here. Maybe we focus on the 7 and 9s. So this one, and that one. So this has to be red. Blue would be one of those three. Well, that isn't red, so red's one of those three, but it can't be this one. And since this isn't blue, blue's one of these two, which means that's not blue. And since it's not red either, 7 and 9 is out. 3, 5 pair, take out 5 from there. 3, 5 pair, take that one out. So this one is blue. Red is one of those two. Blue. Those is blue. Those is red. So blue has to be one of those two. This can't be red or blue. 3, 5 pair. So this one is red or blue. There's red over here. Well, this can't be 7 or 9. Green and yellow. Yellow and green. Green. Purple's one of those two. Yellow's one of those two.
Box. Gonna set the yellow and green.
Should have taken 7 and 9 off of that one. Which one? Did you say box 7? Box 2?
Box 2.
This one you said is green?
No, that's box 1.
That is definitely box 1. Yellow
That
and
yellow.
green. You'd think I would know how to count by now. One day. Green. 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 And this one isn't yellow. So this one is red. This one's not red. It's yellow. So that one's yellow. Green's not on top. So this one's green. Green. These two can't be yellow. This one isn't green. Purple, yellow, green. Green. Getting closer.
In box 4, well, column 3, there's a green in column 3, so.
Yeah. And these are 12.
Right.
So green And this one is 12. So yellow and the other is 12. Is that relevant anywhere? I don't think it can be, because we've already done all of the other sums. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. This is 5, 7, 9. And... Oh, it's yellow and green. I got confused. I thought only yellow was on there for some reason. What am I missing? Well, if green is 5, right, then that would put green as one of those two. Because we know 5 is one of those two. Would that get me anywhere? I mean, if this was a 5, that would be a 7. I should really be able to narrow this down more, shouldn't I? We get 9 over there. 1, 9, and 5, so that would be 3, 7. We get 3s here, so that would be 3, which we already knew. Green is one of these two. That's those 4, and it's one of those two. Yellow is one of these 4, one of those two, one of those two, and one of those two. It just sort of goes in a loop. Red and blue. I don't think row 4, column 7, or row 6, column 9 can be yellow, because of where yellow is in boxes 4, 7, and 9. 4, 7, and 9. And that eliminates row 4, column 7, and row 6, column 9. Because if this is yellow, then that's yellow, and then both of those are yellow, which would remove it from those two. But if this was yellow, then that would be yellow, and that would be yellow, which would remove it from both of those. In which case, 5 is green. Yeah, if this was yellow, then that would be yellow, that would be yellow, and that would be yellow, which is a contradiction. Okay, yeah. Which means 5 is green, and that's 7. Three, 7, excuse me, not a 5, 3, 7, not a 5, 5 and 9, so those aren't 9. This puzzle has some hard Sudoku in it. It sure does. 5. Hold on. Logic Masters Germany. It's estimated 4 stars.
That's hard.
Yeah. Oh, this is a 3. Okay, I don't think I need colors, maybe? I don't know. Well, green is out of those two. Okay. That's 13. That's 12. That's 14. That's 38. That's 11. That's 20. Normal Sudoku rules apply to just not repeat on the marked diagonal. 1, 2, yeah, it's just the 3 and the 9 that's left over to not repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. And along a red line to just have the same parity. So I think I've done all of that correctly. So now it's just figuring out the last little bits. Maybe the multicolored cells are more distracting than helpful at this point. And it's kind of what I was thinking, but now I get sad that the colors are gone. Okay. Those 3. If this is a 5, that's a 9. If this is a 7, that's a 9. And if this is a 9, it's a 9. Anything that sees all 3 can't be a 9, but that's just those 2. So maybe that's not the one I want to go for. 3, 7, 9. But then this would mean one of those has to be a 7. But the only thing that sees both of those is that one. It's getting late. Okay. Okay. This is a 3. Then this would be a 9. If that's a 3, then this one's a 7. And that's a 9. 7, 3, 3, shift 3, lose the 3. First try, shift 1, 9. Lose the. Well, the coloring of 7, 9 pairs, where we could give it full color, were helpful actually. No, I'm going to keep this because that's going to be different.
That's going to be a 7.
This one has to be a 7?
Well, if you look at the row, it'd be 9 in superscript.
Yeah. So 9, because this would be 7. 9 removed, 7 removed. But Michael said something about 7, 9 pairs. So let's color those real quick. Alright, so red and blue. This one's red, so this one's blue. One of those is red. So this one's blue, that one's red. Blue, red, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, and red, blue. So not red, not blue. Okay, and then Michael said, like in box 2 and box 8. 2 and 8. So this one, that one. Was there something more that I could do with the
Well, in box 6,
yeah.
superscript 1.
Oh, that would take the 1 out. 7 out. And then that would be 1, so that would be 9. And then shift 7. 5, 9, 9, 9. 7. Okay. Matching patterns, this one ends up having to be blue. And red. Is there another way to get that other than what all I went through?
Box 9 has one that needs flipped to base and superscript.
Nine.
Row 6, there's a 7 in base, or in center script, which at the end makes that a 5 in the center.
Seven. Oh, I've got two center 7s. So center script doesn't work because I would not have a 9 in this column.
$10:30 already.
Yeah. So, okay. If I look at this column again, I wouldn't have a 9. This is an ugly amount of look ahead, but row 1, column 3 being 7 breaks, I think. I'm not sure I like this puzzle at all. It's row 1, column 3. So if this had been a 7,
Yeah, it breaks.
then I mean, that made that a 3, and therefore that a 9. That a 3, therefore that a 7. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of, like, this column. Because, because it's this column that breaks it. And how do we lose the 9s in here? Well, it looks like this was the only spot for a 9. Was that true before I had done all the superscripting? Well, I guess... Wait, hold on. If I just do these, and I know they have to be on. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 1 and 5, 1 and 3. And I know that this one wasn't 1 or 3. It was 5, 7, or 9. And then this one wasn't 5, 7, or 9. This was 1 or 9. Okay. And so I could have had 9 anywhere. No, this is a 1-9 pair, so that couldn't be a 9. So I've got a 9 here, or it's one of those two. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Because somehow whatever is there. Alright. 3, 9, 1, 7, 9, 3, 5, 7, 9, 7, 5, 1, 7, 1, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9. That's 9, that's a 7, 5, 3, 3, and 9. Puzzle is done. Although I'd really want to know what I was supposed to do with column 7 here. If it was just the just look ahead and figure it out. But I really hate it when that's the, if that is the intended solution. It only has a few solves on Logic Masters Germany. I did get this one from when, yeah, it was a year ago. Mark solved it. Took him, I mean, his video is 35 minutes long. So, yeah.
Hour and a half for us, that's about right.
Yeah. Well, the circles that that Michael figured out, if I can get back to here, asking the question of if these are even, what happens to this and the rows was really important. But yeah. Mark has insane working memory / look ahead abilities. He definitely does, especially the memory part. Especially with the mathematics, whenever there's a puzzle that has the degrees of freedom. There we go. He works through that so quickly. Are you taking puzzle suggestions? I posted a 2-star today. No pressure, of course. I will take puzzle suggestions. So we will take on Crop Cominos. Hopefully I said that close to correct. We can tackle that one on Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Nice. But yeah, so because I do need to sign off here because I need to go to bed and get to sleep so I can wake up for work tomorrow. And my mom probably has to do the same. But yeah, so we do Sudoku Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll tackle that one first. So let me save that in my notes here. That is the wrong Sudoku notepad. Minimize that one. I actually should probably just close out of that one because I don't need it on every puzzle. And let me get this one saved in my notes so I can put it in the video description. And pull up Logic Masters Germany. But yeah, while this loads, yeah, I am going to sign off. So, thank you very much, Michael, and, was it Henry? It was Henry, who helped us out today. And anyone else who watched, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of the fancy YouTube engagement stuff. And if you're interested in other content on this channel, that is Sudoku Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Saturdays, I've been playing Monster Hunter World with a friend. I'm also going to stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. No, excuse me. It's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Monster Hunter World tomorrow. And I've also been playing Final Fantasy VI. And if there are any other game suggestions people are interested in, put those in the comments down below. But with that, I am going to go ahead and sign off. So, again, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.